Hi, I'm Dana Sparks with MX1 Realty, and today's contract tip is a video on how to use the electronic deal sheet, also known as EDS. For today, for this video, we are going to enter a transaction into EDS where you, the MX1 agent, represent a buyer, and there is another company, a co-op brokerage, representing the seller. So first thing you're going to do, you're going to get the property under contract, and you are going to upload those documents into Paperless Pipeline. As you know, our one-stop shop for all of your needs at MX1 is eagentweb.com. So www.eagentweb.com, that pulls up this site. So you can access Paperless Pipeline through this tile. Then after that, you are going to enter the transaction information into the EDS system. And basically what this does is this translates all of the information in your contract to our staff in the accounting transactions department so that you can get paid. They do not access Paperless Pipeline, and they are not looking at your contracts. So first, click Extranet to log on to the extranet, which is hosted in WolfConnect. So you get the sign-on screen, and you are going to log in. For illustrative purposes, I'm going to be the Easter Bunny. If you have any questions or issues with your WolfConnect login, please email admin@eagentweb.com. admin@eagentweb.com. So once you log in, you get the home screen. And just a couple of things on the home screen that you may not be aware of. There are links right here. The latest MX1 roster will be linked here. The policies and the procedures and the orientation manuals are here. The EDS guide is there, as well as other how-to documents, how to access your electronic 1099, directions to the branches, resources for assistance, so forth and so on. There is a list of birthdays and anniversaries. Up here, office links. These are the same as the user links. And then you have your fields up top, which are the home screen is this real estate tab, and this is what you get. And then you also have communications. That's where you send messages. Membership, that is where you can go in and edit your profile and upload a picture. Contact management for yourself to keep track of your clients. And resources this is where the actual extranet is. But again, for today, we are going to focus on EDS. So the screen that you get, this real estate screen, which is the default screen that opens up when you first log into WolfConnect, you get this, and you are going to go to this Transactions tab here. And when you are first going to add a transaction, you're going to click on Add. So we click on Add, and then all you do is simply fill in the blanks. So MLS number, that is going to be the FMLS number. And again, I am going to sell a listing that is a non-MX1 listing. All right, and so the FMLS number, let's just say, is 5551212. Huh, found one. 5551213. All right. If it is not a listing listed by a MX1 agent, then you just enter in the FMLS number. If it is, if you are working with a buyer and you have sold a MX1 listing, then you can either enter in the FMLS number or use the magnifying glass, and it will pull up the listing. But that is only for MX1 listings. So since we are in this illustration selling a listing that is not listed by a MX1 agent, we enter in the FMLS number, and then we have to enter in the address. We're going to say it's 123 Lucky Lane, Powder Springs, Georgia, 30127. Classification. Anything that has this red asterisk, you have to complete. The classification. Now, in this situation, again, I am representing the buyer, so I am going to have the selling side. If I were to represent the seller and I put in the FMLS number, it will default, and the only option I will have will be listing side. If I am representing the buyer selling a MX1 listing, you are not going to see selling side. You would have to fill in office double ender. But again, I will go through that in another video. In this situation, MX1 has the buyer, co-op broker has the seller, so I am the selling side. Property type, it is residential. Sale price, let's say it is an even $200,000. Offer date. For offer date here, we are using that as the binding agreement date. Close date, that is the date that you have contracted to close. So let's say we are going to close this November 20th. Leave it as firm, that is fine. Then you are going to scroll down and you are going to click this button to add your commission. Again, we need this information to pay you, so you are definitely going to want to add the commission. Agent's name, you can either use the magnifying glass or you can put it in. In this illustration, let's see if it has me. I am the Easter Bunny. I have the selling side. Now this side count, this is just the side of the transaction that you are on. So I am representing the buyer, I have the selling side, and I have the entire selling side to myself. So that is going to be 1. If I was working with a colleague and we both worked with the buyer, then that would be 0.50. I would have half of the selling side. But in this situation, I myself am the sole agent working with the buyer. So I put in 1. And then for the commission, you have the option. You can either fill in the percentage if you are getting a percentage, or you can fill in the flat fee. So if you are getting a % of the commission, but then let's say you have agreed to pay for a home warranty or something along those lines, then you are going to enter in a flat fee. If you are working for a strict percentage, let's say I'm going to get 3.5%, then you hit tab and the program will do the math. It will multiply the 3.5% times the sale price that we put in up here, and the gross commission is going to be $7,000. Then you click Save. At this point, you have no other options to fill in any information, so you do not need the legal description here. We have that on your contract. So you are going to click Save. After you save that, you get a little summary of what you have just put in, and at that point, you go in and add the additional information. So now we are going to enter in the buyer and the seller's names. So I click on this plus sign. Contract type, again, I'm working with the buyer. It is an individual. I am selling it to Santa Claus. Source of business, this is strictly for you. That is not required. The buyer's address, if you have the buyer, you should have their address, which we would need for notice. But again, this is not required. What is required is the city and the zip code. So again, if you have this information, that would be fabulous to fill that in. 32 Sunset Summit. They live currently in Atlanta. Oops. Regardless if you have their street address or not, you need to fill in the city, Atlanta. Again, this is not vital to us to pay you, so if you don't have it, do not stress over it. Put in a zip code, United States, email address. Enter in their email address, and this will ensure that they get the Moving Wolf coupons that are branded with your name on it. Just an extra service that we offer to you, our Maximum One agent. It is another way of staying in touch with your client. They get moving appropriate coupons, and it has your name and information all over it. And you can opt to send the Moving Wolf emails that they get, and it is just a great additional touch from you to secure future referral business. After you enter in all that information, you click Save. This is if you may use the WolfConnect system as your contact management system and simply click Yes to add these to this will go to your own personal contacts book section when you log in to WolfConnect. All right, then we added the buyer. Now we are going to go in and add the seller. Now the seller is an individual. I'm going to have their name because from the listing agreement. So the seller's name is going to be Tooth Fairy. The address is really going to be the property address that I sold, that I have the contract on, Lucky Street. That is in Powder Springs. 30127. Now, I have no idea of their email address, and as you see, in this section, it is not required because I do not represent the seller in this transaction. So I may or may not have their address, which I do not have because they are not my client, so it is not required. Now I'm going to click Save on that. Now, next thing we go to are business contacts. Click on Add Business Contacts. Again, this is required, so you click on it. This is where you enter in the closing attorney and the lender. So again, I'm working with the buyer, so I know what mortgage company I'm using. Side is going to be the selling side. Now, WolfConnect, this EDS system, will have a list of mortgage companies that any agent in Maximum One has used in the past. So you can click on this magnifying glass and scroll down, or you can start to enter in a lender, and it will auto-populate some choices for you. And it will automatically fill in the company name and so forth and so on. You don't have to fill in that lender's address. The email would be nice, not required, but the lender, the loan originator's contact name is required. And then you click Save. That was the lender. Now we're going to go back to another business contact and add in the closing attorney. Especially if you are requesting a pay at close, we absolutely need this information. So for closing attorney, we're going to click on attorney. This side, the attorney, as we know, does represent the actual mortgage company. So this is not, don't worry about putting one or the other, but I'm going to go ahead and put in selling. But in our part of the country, the attorney represents the mortgage lender. This system is used throughout the whole United States, in which the attorney does represent one party or the other in various parts of the state. In this situation, let's say we are going to use Amy Davis. So I can simply start to type, and I will get all sorts of options for Amy Davis. Again, it will auto-populate the company name. This auto-populates the address. Fabulous. We are good to go. Click Save. Now, that's all the business contacts I have is one loan officer and one closing attorney. Now, next thing is you go down here to outside brokers and referrals. This is where you would enter in a referral, but we are going to put in the co-op broker. Again, contract type, outside broker. They are going to represent the listing side because I have already told EDS that I represent the seller, I represent the selling side or the buyer, and it's not an office double ender. Gross commission, I don't exactly know. I don't know if the listing agent has cut a deal with their seller or not. So I am just going to assume a commission. Again, this is not necessarily vital information to our system because we are only paying you. We are not paying an outside broker. Now, if this was a referral, we would have to pay, but in this situation, it doesn't matter. However, the system has this red asterisk and requires that you put in something. Now, I am just going to put in, let's say it is I don't know, who have we just done business with? Let's say we're doing business with Harry Norman Realtors. Put in Harry Norman Realtors. Don't necessarily have to put in their address. I do have to put in the contact name of the agent. And let's say I dealt with Mr. Norman himself, even though he has actually passed away. But let's just say Harry Norman. And now I will have his email address because I will have been emailing my co-op agent throughout the transaction. So I would fill in his email address, harry@harrynorman.com. And I'm going to click Save. All right. That is all you do to actually enter in a transaction. Now, let's say something changes or you need to add some information or add some notes. At this point, you may go in and edit your EDS entry either by clicking on this button here where it says Edit or clicking here. You also at this point have the option of clicking Print. And that will print a summary of the information that you have just entered. My computer is blocking it, but we will try again. We click Print. And it is not going to cooperate. But basically what it will do is it will then give you a PDF representation of the summary of your transaction. Now let's say you just entered in that information and then you go about your day and you go sell another property. So you are going to exit out of WolfConnect. You're going to go back. You're going to come back the next day because you've done some additional negotiations, and at this point, you need to send us a note, or you want to make yourself a note about the transaction. You're going to log back in to WolfConnect, so you click on Extranet. It already has me logged in, but at this point, it may ask you to log in again. Again, it defaults to this real estate transactions screen, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit something I know I have already entered, so I'm going to click Manage. When I click on Manage, I can see you can either click on all the transactions you have done, those that are open, i.e. pending, or those that have closed if you want to see that information. I need to go back and edit this pending transaction at 123 Lucky Lane. So I will see a whole list of all the transactions I have entered into the system. I'm going to click on the one I want to edit, and it pulls me back to that screen we were just looking at. So at this point, again, you can edit it either through this button or through this button. You can add notes. So let's say I need to send the Accounting Transactions Department a note. I click on Notes. I click Add Note. It's just a general note. And I'm going to say Robin Wilhite, who is cutting your commission checks. Robin, we are having issues with repairs, and the commission may change, and I am also contributing $395 towards a home warranty. And then you click Save. All right, why won't it click Save? You click General and then you click Save. All right. The other thing you can do, so now let's go back here to my pending transaction. And now I'm going to edit it. I can also go back in here and I can edit any of the information I have entered. So if let's say the commission did change and I ended up contributing $500 towards a home warranty. I'm going to click Edit. I'm going to edit the commission. I click this little pencil. And now instead of it being an actual percentage, now my commission is a flat fee of $6,500, and I click Save. That will save it there. And then also the closing date got changed from November 20th to November 27th. I make all my changes, and then I click Save. There you go. And then I can print it again. Just a note on notes. It is also we recommend that you add notes into the paperless pipeline in your transaction listed in paperless pipeline to help as well. And that's all there is to it. So again, you simply fill in the blanks. This is easier than the blue sheets for those of you that have been with us for a while because you don't have to fill in the FMLS amount or your actual plan. We in our back office already know those dollar amounts. Now, again, let me just point out one more thing. This system, EDS, is located within the extranet. Entering your transaction into paperless pipeline is a separate system, paperless pipeline. The information you enter into paperless pipeline goes to the compliance broker who does not look at EDS. She does not look at the money, the commission, the co-op, any of that. The EDS, electronic deal sheet, which is located here in this tile, that goes to our transactions department, and the staff there does not look at your contract in paperless pipeline. So that is the most confusing thing about the system, is that there are two separate systems in which you have to interact with once you get a property under contract. So stay tuned. I will do another video on if you are selling your own listing or if you have a listing that gets sold by another agent and if you sell a maximum one agent's listing. Thank you guys so much, and go sell more properties. Dana Sparks, broker with Maximum One Greater Atlanta Realtors, satisfying your needs with service, innovation,